What's up everyone, my name is Luka and you're watching my first year on T. So this week we're talking all about how we picked our names. How I picked my name, Luka, was actually not that hard at all. It was a toss-up between about 5 names. One of the names was the name of my best friend, so obviously that was off the plate because that would just be too weird. Another was Finn, which I actually picked to be my middle name, and I'll explain why later. Another was Daniel. That was the name my mom would have named me if I were born a cisgender boy. And there's a couple others that I was thinking on, but just wasn't really sold on. I picked Luka because I've been Luka for a long time. I didn't realize that this was a name that I had been going by for so long until somebody asked me what name I was going to go by, and I started thinking about names. But I used Luka as my pen name starting about 4 or 5 years ago. So I've been using the name Luka and going by that name for a really long time. I just didn't realize that I was doing it. It was part of my pen name. It's not the full name, but it was part of it. It was the first name. So I was kind of already fine with going by Luka, and I stuck with it. With my middle name, Finn, I was trying to toss up between which name I wanted to be my name, Finn or Luka. Finn was just too common. I've never met another person named Luka, ever. So it was kind of an easy choice for me. I didn't really have to think about it. And Finn being my middle name, it actually makes my name rhyme. It's Luka Finn Harrison, and I like things that rhyme, so it was kind of like something extra that I liked. But it's not necessary to make your name rhyme, it's just something that I wanted to do, and I liked it. That's how I picked my name, Luka Finn Harrison. I had already been going by the name for a while, and I'm a writer, so I have a whole list of names that I would pick and make for my characters. I just sat through and going through those, and Luka's always been the name that, like, if I were to have kids, I wanted to name one of them Luka. It's just a name that I've always been very attached to, and I didn't really understand why that was, but it's because I think it was just meant to be. So now that I realized that, it's my name. And I actually just got it legally changed. Right after I made that video, I went to court Friday and got it legally changed. I am officially, legally, Luka Finn Harrison. So it's pretty exciting. I know this was a really short video, but there's not really much for me to say on my name. I had a pretty easy time picking it, and it wasn't that difficult of a decision, which is nice, and I appreciate that because I know a lot of people go through a really long process of trying to find their name. It's okay to take your time, and it's okay if you know it immediately. I didn't know it like immediately, but I knew it pretty soon. Within the first few weeks of me coming out, I knew that that was the name I was gonna go by. It's okay if it takes you years. It's totally fine. Take your time with it. It's something that you can change in the future, but if you want to make it legal, you're going to have to stick with it for a while unless you want to keep... I think you can only change your name a certain number of times in your lifetime or something. You know, take your time with it. Don't rush into a decision like that. It's something that you're going to go by everywhere. And have fun picking it. It doesn't have to be something that's super stressful. You can have fun picking it. If you're worried about testing it out, something that I know a lot of people do is go to Starbucks and tell them your name and just get used to people calling you that name. Have a couple friends that, you know, you're testing names and pronouns on. I mean, yes, it can get a bit overwhelming for that friend if you're just using them and you're constantly every day trying a new name. It's going to be really hard for them to do that unless they've done it before for somebody else. So have a couple different people and try different names with different people and see how you like those names and test them out for a few weeks or a few months until you start feeling comfortable with one. Whatever feels more natural, I would say that that's the name you should go by. But, of course, it's always up to you. So do what you feel happy with and do what makes you happy. As always, thank you for watching, and if nobody's reminded you recently, you're worthy and you deserve good. Bye. Can we talk about my eyebrows? Because they're getting so much thicker on testosterone, which is awesome because I used to have pencil thin eyebrows, so now that they're nice and they're like, I'm getting all these hairs down here and they're getting in the middle and like, fuck, what if I have a unibrow? That would suck.